Today we've got a very unusual episode, because, based on the same solid historical sources we always use, we're going to make a very bold claim and try to prove it. Neanderthals were smarter than Homo sapiens. And no, that's not a joke. Recent discoveries point more and more strongly in this direction. Smarter is, of course, a vague word. You could call it wiser, more experienced, more inventive. Pick whichever epithet you like. The key point we'll be discussing over the next few minutes is this. Neanderthals were in no way inferior to Homo sapiens in any measurable quality. So why did such intelligent and resourceful beings go extinct? Well, get comfortable, my friends, because that's exactly what we're about to explore. And of course, don't forget to leave a like and a comment to support this new series if you enjoy it. Our journey begins in a mysterious land full of secrets, beavers, and once, Neanderthals. Yes, we're talking about Poland. In the valley of the Zwolenka River, archaeologists discovered a Neanderthal site at least 64,000 years old. Here's an important detail to keep in mind. At that time, Europe was in the grip of the last ice age. Scandinavia was covered in a single massive glacier, and the ice stretched as far south as northern Poland, right to the spot where the site was found. In other words, this group of Neanderthals was essentially playing on hardcore mode, surviving in what can only be described as a frozen hellscape. And yet, what do you think they uncovered there? In one concentrated area, archaeologists found 330 artifacts, knives, scrapers, and stone tools for sharpening, along with countless flint chips, fragments, and broken implements. There's no doubt about it, this was a full-blown workshop. A place where individuals specialized in making, repairing, and maintaining tools. Now let's pause for a second. This was 70,000 years ago. The so-called dumb Neanderthals, supposedly doomed in the evolutionary race. And yet, in the middle of glaciers and brutal cold, they had a well-organized production process, complete with a division of labor. That's not survival chaos, that's craftsmanship. A profession. And it doesn't stop there. The tools themselves were crafted using the Levallois technique, a highly sophisticated method that allowed them to produce razor-sharp, symmetrical blades, spears, and other instruments. This required advanced planning, a deep understanding of stone properties, and fine motor skills, the very qualities Neanderthals were long accused of lacking. The craftsmanship was equally impressive. And here comes the twist. Archaeological evidence shows that Neanderthals were using the Levallois technique long before Homo sapiens, by nearly 100,000 years. Some suggest we simply haven't found older sapiens tools yet. But others argue that Homo sapiens may have actually borrowed these technologies directly from Neanderthals. To see this even more clearly, let's head to another Neanderthal factory. This time in Neumark Nord, Germany. There, archaeologists uncovered over 2,000 bones from large animals, cattle, horses, deer, all deliberately brought to the site. Alongside them were primitive hammers, anvils, and even bones ground into powder. This tells us that Neanderthals cracked bones to extract marrow, then rendered the remaining pieces to extract fat, and they did it on an industrial scale. What does this mean? First, it proves they understood what we now call protein poisoning, the dangers of eating only lean meat without fat or other nutrients. They avoided it by harvesting marrow and fat. Second, it shows they stored food for the future, since marrow and fat could be preserved much longer than meat. And third, it pushes back the timeline of advanced resource processing. Previously, historians thought this only appeared with Homo sapiens around 30,000 years ago. But the Neanderthal fat factory in Germany is 125,000 years old. And this is just one example. In Gibraltar, at Vanguard Cave, Neanderthals built furnaces 65,000 years ago to extract resin from plants, a kind of glue. Scientists even replicated the process, successfully creating strong adhesive used to attach stone spearheads to wooden shafts. The oldest known glued spear from Neanderthals dates back 200,000 years. Meanwhile, the earliest Homo sapiens example is only about 72,000 years old. Over and over again, Neanderthals show up not as primitive brutes, but as pioneers of technology. But intelligence isn't just about tools. Let's talk about culture, communication, and creativity. Neanderthals had a hyoid bone nearly identical to ours. The same FOXP2 gene associated with speech, and an expanded Broca's area in the brain, meaning they were fully capable of complex language. Their art, ornaments, and rituals were nearly indistinguishable from those of early Homo sapiens, and in some cases, they appeared earlier. For instance, perforated animal teeth used as jewelry have been found at Neanderthal sites dating back over 100,000 years, while the earliest sapiens shell ornaments are only about 75,000 years old. So why did Neanderthals vanish? That's the great mystery. They were intelligent, resourceful, socially organized, and adaptive. They survived Ice Age Europe for hundreds of thousands of years. Yet, within a few thousand years of Homo sapiens' arrival, they were gone. Assimilation? Extermination? Or something stranger? The debate continues. What do you think? Were Neanderthals wiped out, absorbed, or did they take off to Nibiru in spaceships? Share your thoughts in the comments. That's it for today, friends. Until next time.